Hi everyone! In this video I want to share something really special. I'll walk you through my fingerstyle arrangement of Summer Song by Joe Satriani. This song means so much to me. I remember as a kid I used to watch this DVD of Joe Satriani at my parents' house, and that was the very first time I heard Summer Song. Fast forward 20 years, last July I went to see him live here in Milano with Steve Vai. Now, the week before the concert, I was listening to a lot of the same tracks that I used to play and listen when I was a little kid. And so one day, Summer Song came on in the background, and I thought, man, this is a great song. It's got good melody, fast rhythm, a great guitar solo. So, in my mind, I thought, why not give it a try on fingerstyle guitar and see how it goes? Now, I'll walk you through the arrangement section by section, and for each section I'll also show you a slowed down version that I think will be very useful to anyone who try to study this piece. Right from the intro, you can hear and feel the foundation of the entire arrangement, which is the bass line. Basically, we get this steady 8-note pattern, this bass line from the original record, and on top of that we add the percussion, so the snare sound on beat 2 and 4. In the intro and the verse, this pattern is pretty simple, because the harmony is just A major and D over A, so we get this cool pedal note on the 5th string, the A string. Now later in the song it's not going to be that simple, but we'll get there in a minute. The most important thing here in the intro are the harmonics. Now I think Joe plays them in the 4th position. Instead, I play them in the 7th position. And the reason is that in fingerstyle, it's really ideal to play 2 different notes on 2 separate strings, meaning in this case, the index would play the 4th string and the thumb would play the 5th string. In the original version, instead, these 2 harmonics are played on the same string. We need the 5th string to play the bass and the snare, so it's just like having too much going on the same string. That's why I moved the phrase up to the 7th position, that way I can use the 4th string as well, and I think it's easier for fingerstyle guitar. Now the main challenge here, other than the speed, which is a common challenge of the whole song, is being as expressive as possible. What you want to do here is to be faithful to the original interpretation, even without the comfort of the electric guitar, even without distortion. And yes, you can't just copy everything note for note. I mean, you'll need to adjust something, that's fine, as long as you stay true to his interpretation and to the sound and the vibe of the original track. Now in the second verse, the melody goes up 1 octave, and again, you can't just transfer everything straight from the electric here on the acoustic, because it's just not gonna cut it. So when I was messing around with this part, I thought, alright, I need to express the harmony, so I need to play this E major, but at the same time, I need to, make this note, this IA, because the melody goes like, right? So I need to make this A sing. So tapping was really an extension of what I was trying to do. Something like... So it wasn't like, let's add a cool trick or let's do something crazy. No, it was just like a practical solution to the fact that I needed to play a very high note, but at the same time I needed a chord underneath. So that's how I came up with tapping. Let's deliver the bad news first. In this section, the chords change. So we get G, D, A, and then F, C, and G. So we can't rely on the open A string anymore. And keeping the bass steady on these changes is really a nightmare. So in the points where I couldn't keep the bass going, I just paused it and I played octaves instead. That's the idea. When you're in trouble arranging something that feels very, very difficult, almost impossible, try to turn it into something else that's still musical, that still fits the song, but that's doable. And I'm not saying that my transformation is easy. It's actually here you play 3 notes on 3 different octaves and just light it up. It's hard, right? But there's a big difference between something that's hard and impossible and something that's hard but with practice becomes doable, right? Now, the solo is probably the most fun and interesting section, and funny enough, this was the very first part I checked when I decided I wanted to arrange a summer song, because I knew that if I could make this section work, the rest, would have been fine. So this is the hard one. The chords are G minor to C major, and I was really happy about that. Why? Because both of them are rooted at the 3rd fret, here and here. So my first thought was, okay, I'm good. I'm gonna use a capo. I'm gonna pull out a capo from somewhere, put it on the 3rd fret, right on just on the 6th and 5th string, and I'll be fine. I'll play everything else. Fact is that I couldn't find any capo available on the market able to do that. I mean, there are a lot of capos. Some are just partial capos on these 3 strings. There's even the spider capo, which is something that you customize string by string, but the fact was I needed to play at the 3rd fret, so I couldn't have something here because the melody goes like, right? So I needed to play this note. I even tried to build the capo myself, and it was a total failure because it kept jumping off because apparently this only 2 strings are too little to hold the capo still. I don't know. If you know a capo that can just press these 2 strings, please let me know in the comments because I'd like to buy it. Long story short, at one point I knew I needed to bring someone in, and that's when I asked Georgia for help. And honestly, I know that without her appearance, the video wouldn't be nearly as fun, and so maybe it was a blessing that I couldn't find the capo. Now, what if you don't have any girlfriends to help you out with this capo thing. Let me grab another guitar and I'll show you what to do. Okay, so when I was practicing alone, of course I needed to find another solution. So I had this guitar ready and I tuned down the top 4 strings by 3 half steps while keeping the 5th and the 6th string in standard tuning. E, A, B, E, G sharp and C sharp. It's working like having a capo on the 3rd fret, but instead of playing in G Dorian, you're playing in E Dorian. And I know this is just a temporary solution for practicing, but I promise you're gonna practice this section so much that having a second guitar completely dedicated to that, it will be good. I mean, I did it like that. Now, there's also this crazy stretch here that I know that for many players it'll feel impossible. And if that's your case, the solution is to spread the passage over 2 different strings, something like... Lastly, let me give you another practice tip. When you practice this solo, try to play it without the bass, meaning with only the snare on 2 and 4. Later in the solo, there is this passage on the F sharp minor chord. Here, you need to keep your index finger down the whole time, because if you don't do that, the chord, so the harmony, will disappear, and that's not good. And yes, this passage is not a walk in the park, but take it as an extremely powerful workout for your left hand. It will really build a lot of strength. At the end of the solo, the melody climbs up the neck, and if you have a cutaway guitar, it'll feel way easier. Now I don't, so I ended the solo with this harmonic, because I don't have the real note. But you know, it works just as fine, and actually it's probably a good theatrical ending to the solo. In this part of the original version, the drummer is playing 8 notes on the hi-hat. So to mimic that, I decided to hit every beat with my thumb. Now the tricky thing here is balancing it, because this percussion tends to pop out too much, and instead it's the melody that should sing more. This passage will force you to play most of the notes with your nails instead of the fingertips, and this is another key technique you'll need to master to play this song. Arrangements like this one, they don't come overnight. Not for me, not for anyone. So if you decide to study it, just don't be discouraged. It's tough, but if you keep practicing, if you put in the work, I promise you'll get there. The only thing that matters when you begin a journey like this is don't quit. Now, thank you for watching this video and for the incredible support that you guys are showing on this cover. I mean, I'm honored to read some of your comments, and that keeps me really motivated to go on and to study even more and to arrange many more songs. And a special thanks goes to Joe Satriani himself. Thank you, Joe, for writing such a great song and many guitar masterpieces that are now literally part of guitar history. Thank you. I'll see you in the next video. Ciao.